Stranger Things, Outer Banks, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and more of these shows and films are being produced. So again, I think you guys are in a really great spot because being a young adult in college or about to graduate, you might not think you look 16, but when everyone else your age is acting in these 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old roles, it works on screen, right? So you're at a great age where there's a lot of content being produced, there's a lot of roles that are for you and for your age, and they're looking for diversity in different types. So I think that's a really encouraging thing when you're looking to graduate and go into this business, that there is a market that's currently looking for you as you're getting started.
And then look at that, like I was saying, with the advertising dollars, like who goes to the movie, who streams, who does so and
It's
so.
you guys.
They're looking at money. So.
Carol?
Oh, sure. Another thing I would add is additional your special skills. So in addition to the diversity that we're seeing, whether that is a race, a gender, whatever it may be, on top of that, your special skills. So languages, certain, are you a fire breather? Are you a stilt walker? Those sorts of really interesting special skills that are so specific that can help open a door for you as a new and up-and-coming actor. Getting your name out there where someone else may remember you from that, or if you speak different languages, making that known. Whether you speak a language based on what someone thinks that you should look like to speak that language or not, making sure you have your resume updated with that information. And what you may find super easy, super normal to do on an everyday basis, make sure you put it on your resume. Just because you think that you're skilled at doing this and everybody know how to do this, make yourself stand out because of whatever those skills are.
And I think that's a good segue into kind of like the next topic I want to talk about. I want to hear from all of you, or each of you. So I know I've spoken to a lot of agents about the qualities that they look for in talent when they are deciding to represent them, right? When you're deciding to represent them. Because I would imagine you get lots of inquiries, right? And then you have to make choices. And those choices are probably vary on what the defining factor is as to why you bring someone on. And I would imagine that sometimes being the best talent isn't always at the top of the consideration set. I would imagine sometimes it changes. And I'm curious to hear from each of you, like when you sit down and you've got 50, 60 people who have submitted to your agency, and you're going to bring on 2 or 3 maybe, or maybe more. What specific qualities are you looking for in the person, right, when deciding to represent someone? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Carol. Yeah, Jennifer, why don't you start, and then we'll go to Carol. So we'll go Jennifer, Carol, and then we'll come to
That's
Carol.
great.
And Vera, go.
So one thing I would say besides the obvious, I mean, to me, talent is the most important because I know that you're going to be competing in this market with very talented people, right? So obviously we're looking for people that have the chops and are ready, but beyond that, I would say, do you know how to operate in our professional world, right? So like Carol was saying, do you know how to do a self-tape? Because for me as an agent, I do have time to hold your hand to a point, right? But I don't have the time to teach you how to do a self-tape. I don't have the time to help you learn how to read a script or read my audition instructions. When I send you an audition, I need you to at least be versed enough to read through everything, figure it out, put yourself on tape, and send me an audition that looks professional for casting directors. So that's one of the very first things I'm looking for, especially in young talent. Are you really at that level? And if I think you're very talented, but I can tell that you don't necessarily have the professional experience right now, what I usually say is, hey, take some acting classes on camera auditioning and come back to me in 6 months. And then we can, take a look at you again.
In addition to that, holding yourself accountable in the presence of those of the industry and outside. Because a lot of times someone can be super, super talented, they can turn a great tape audition, but they may bring a lot of not very good drama. You know, we want to.
Not very good.
Not good stuff.
We want to get drama.
Off-camera drama.
Yes. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who support you in this industry and that help promote you in a positive way. And the same for yourself, hold yourself accountable to that as well. Because sometimes people can ruin a great career that is taken off by doing some really stupid things. So, and you all have grown up in a world of social media. But Jara and I grew up in a world where there was no social media, and then we were exposed to this world of social media. It's interesting, right? So use it in a professional manner to your advantage. I would highly recommend if you have, that you would have a private personal profile and then your professional profile, and then you can kind of keep things separated there. But just being a professional at all times. But then in addition to what Jennifer was saying, being on time. And being on time is you're early. You need to always be early. At least 15 minutes. Give yourself 15 minutes to arrive somewhere, and then you're just sitting there decompressing and preparing. Rolling in at right on time, at the hour that you're supposed to be there, that's going to work to your disadvantage. So just being early. But yeah, that level of professionalism going in addition with those performance skills are huge deciding factors. How you approach us in your submission process as well. I'll give you an example. I had someone submit, and it's hard to reply to every submission that we receive. We had hundreds of them. But someone had submitted, and I thought, you know, we're probably not a good match, but thank you so much for your submission and your interest. And this person started crazy instant messaging me, some really weird stuff. And so I thought, well, that was a good choice on my side to say, no, you're not good, but, and you have confirmed that for me. So just keep in mind that how you treat people, you want to be treated with respect, treat others in the industry with respect, regardless of who they are and what they do. And I will tell you, you are in a great place as well because your market here for, let's say your filmmakers here at Georgia State, they're learning too. So you've got your production side and you've got your performer side. Those who are just starting out in this industry creating films, those are our tomorrow, filmmakers. So grow with them, grow that network, grow that industry with them, because you all will still be here a long time after, I will, and you're still growing in movies, new filmmakers. So as new actors, new filmmakers, develop those relationships.
Sharon, what about you? What qualities do you look for in talent when you decide to go?
I like generally kind people. Ones that are kind to people, kind to themselves. You never know who's watching you, kind of thing. You could be sitting, on set or somewhere else or whatever the case may be. You treat the receptionist badly or the guy who's mopping the floor. That's just absurd. Because like the receptionist might be like, oh, go talk to the line producer in the back and be like, okay, this particular person. You just approach things with kindness. So I kind of sense that when I get to my Zoom interview with the talent. But getting to that point, the first thing that I look for is actors who can follow directions. Okay? But before that, of course, I'm going to look at the headshot. I'm going to look at the resume. Is the headshot professionally done or, some effort put into it? Not everybody can go to a $500 photographer. We understand that. But, some effort being put into it. You are submitting to an agent. Don't just send me something that's, with a shower curtain behind you or whatever the case may be, or Uncle Ed or whatever took pictures of you because he thought it was cute outside or black and white. that kind of stuff. Don't do that. So the headshot and then the resume, not, for a beginning actor, if you actually have a lot of training on there, a lot of theater on there, I'm gonna take a second look at you because, you're trained, you have some professionalism to you, that kind of a thing. See some on-cover classes, I'm like, good. So, it's not so much what you've done. Of course, the resume is a good thing, a reel is a good thing, but let me tell you something. As far as casting directors are concerned, if you have a strong headshot, if you have like nurse, doctor, not costume, but if you have, strong character shots and whatnot, the casting director didn't know your name. All they see is nurse. You see what I'm saying? They're not even gonna look at your resume or anything, especially showing up. Starting up. Later on, it changes a little bit when you have to go in competition with other actors on another level. Pretty soon they want to see your resume, they want to see your reel, and then the first name and all that good stuff or whatever. Now, going back to what I was talking about, the resume and the reel, not that big of a deal, but we do. Of course, we're looking for the holes that we have, that, as far as submissions are concerned. So maybe we don't have enough Asian talent, and I've got like 6 of them in front of me at a showcase or something like that. So of course, I'm more interested in that, or interested in somebody that's older, older black lady, or whatever the case, whatever the holes are. But good talent is just good talent, period. So none of us are going to close our doors to them regardless of what we need or what we don't need. That kind of thing, give them a try. But yes, like I said, in the beginning, once we get through these doors and things like that, of course, all of us will have you do some type of a tape. So after the tape, I have explicit, very, very explicit instructions as to how I need that sent to me. Don't do this, don't do that, label it this way, 100 megabytes, da. Now, if you don't follow that criteria, I won't even deal with you after that. I don't care how much I want.
So your directions are intentional.
Very,
Right.
very. I need you to pass that. Because if you don't, or make like some serious effort, if it's a dash and an underscore and something happened wonky or whatever, then I'll be like, okay, it's cool, whatever, that kind of thing. But, other stuff in there, it's very, very specific. And if you get that wrong, that means that I'm gonna have to fight with you later. You're auditioning for an agent. So you gotta put your best foot forward, period, at all times, because you have to keep us. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it's very important at first that you do that, because I would worry, because it's like everything, I think, in my opinion, everything that you do just a little bit, you're gonna do bigger.
Yes.
You understand? So, yeah, so I see these little red flags and these little stupid things, or these little, worrisome things, or these little so-and-so, this person wasn't kind, this person had a bad remark, this person, no. No.
And really, there's a method to your madness, really, and if that's concerned, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, from the actor's standpoint, or at least from a local elected leadership standpoint, I think what you're trying to do is, because casting directors have very similar instructions, right? And so it says first name underscore, last name underscore, role in all caps, right? And as ridiculous as that might sound, they all have a different thing. And so they're looking for reasons not to see your tapes, right? And so you don't want the labeling to be one of those. I think the other thing probably is when your actors don't follow instructions, the casting directors do not call the actors to complain about it. I assume they call.
Yes, so that's why we're the gatekeepers of all this stuff, so nothing's gonna go past my watch unless it's perfection. But let me tell you something, I don't really feel like going back to tell you, you did the underscores wrong, you're supposed to do dashes here, all this was in caps. I put it in there in the, note from the representative. I even highlighted this, I even sent it to your email, I sent up smoke signals, why are you still getting it wrong? That
Because
kind of thing.
you're also protecting the integrity of your
Of
agency.
course,
Agency, right?
like casting directors don't see anything wrong, let me tell you, they just don't, unless it's out of our control. But they don't see anything wrong, tapes are perfect, everybody's wonderful, the actors are, professional unicorns and hearts running around. They don't see any of that stuff, but we don't need to go through all of that if we don't have to. I'm sorry.
No, that's great information. Jennifer, what are the key steps for someone to land their first agent? And are there any common mistakes to avoid during the process, right? Because the first step may not be, I want an agent, I'm gonna go submit to an agent, because not everyone might not be at that place